The devastating effects of corruption in Ghana is seen all over our country. Bad roads, a dwindling economy. We have a horrible medical sector. You go to the hospital, they'll tell you there's no bed. People are dying because they don't have money, or because some people are not doing the right thing. But we shouldn't be aloof and look on, as corruption destroys the very fabric of our being and our society. We have to do something. Corruption is exacerbated by greed and a semblance of poverty. When you complain, they tell you, oh, salaries are not good, people are poor. Wealth acquired through corrupt practices is glorified in our social, religious, political, and family settings. When somebody becomes rich overnight, the person starts, giving all manner of donations in church, building all manner of houses. Nobody questions them. Indeed, it has become so fashionable that these days a person's wealth is not questioned, or nobody finds out where does this one come from? Where did this one get their money from to afford such opulence? There are no questions. Bribery is openly expressed where officers of service providers ask for kickbacks after providing a service. They actually ask you to pay a bribe. You find security officers at various posts looking into your face to give them money or even ask you for money after they have ushered you into their office premises. Sometimes it used to dawn on me and I asked the question, is it poverty, or is it a question of pure greed, or is a factor of low wages or corruption is pervading our society and destroying it? In my days in the public service, I worked in the public service for 27 years. You come over issues or hear insinuations of misappropriation, which was damning, alarming, and difficult to comprehend. Something has to be done about this matter to rid this nation of the canker. Otherwise, it is going to eat us up, and our nation is going to be a bane of cancerous corruption, ready to consume all of us. It was a crime to be straight in those days, and even now, as it happened to Mr. Domlevo. If you speak about it and you do not engage in corruption, and sometimes if you make an attempt to protect the public purse where you are, it becomes a nuisance and an affront to those who are dissipating the public purse. Almost invariably, a way is found for you to lose your job. We are dropping every day on the corruption perception scale. Every day, every time, we are going out. We are going down. We are dwindling. We are in a hole. What about monetization of our politics and democracy? Democracy is good for us. There is no doubt about it. If you haven't lived through a coup period, you wouldn't say that we need a coup. We don't need a coup d'etat. Democracy is good for us, but it has its shortcomings. And if we do not do something about the monetization of our politics, it is going to kill and shake the foundations of our democracy. Issues of vote buying has become a norm, so much so that a non-performing government believe they can win an election because they have in their bosom a stash of money stolen, money for Ghanaians. We should, and those of us in the front line of the body politics, should let the electorate understand that any persuasion given to them to vote in a certain direction is depriving the country of development, and it should be rejected. I remember in the 2020 campaign, as the CPP General Secretary, and as we trekked the breadth and length of this country, we got to Jomoro, where a 6-year-old told me that, why should I give him a mini poster of our flag bearer? And he said that if for nothing at all, I should give him the currency with Kwame Nkrumah's effigy, if we say we are Nkrumahist, and that is the 2 cedis. So I engaged this little boy in a conversation, and I asked him, why does he think I should give him money? He said, yes, because when the others come, they give them money that is able to look after them and feed them. Are they impoverishing us to subjugate us? It doesn't make sense. Do politicians who are in power just try to impoverish us and also turn us into nothing? Because if they come around giving us money, then it means that they are buying our conscience. They are buying us. And we need to do something about it. Corruption is very, very pervasive. Government bloats the cost of contracts, load us with nuisance taxes, which have no basis, and steal the proceeds of such taxes. We are challenging the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government to specifically tell Ghanaians what they are using the proceeds of the e-levy and the COVID-19 levy for. Because they told us that if we go to IMF, then we don't need e-levy. If we get e-levy, then we don't need to go to IMF. But now we are in IMF, and we still have e-levy. We are no longer in COVID. COVID is no longer a pandemic, but we are paying a COVID levy. They should come and tell us what they are using the proceeds for. And some repetitive taxes. When you look at the petroleum tax buildup, you have energy debt recovery levy, and then you have energy sector recovery levy. What is that? They should come and tell us what we are using our money for. All these nuisances must be looked into to bring about accountability in our fiscal space. Corruption in the public service and more. It is nauseating the kind of corruption in our public service. Bloated invoices. The saying that give weight to the document, that if I present a document for a transaction, I have to put money on it before it can be fast-tracked. Why do we allow this? Paying bribes shrouded in the mode of gifts. Oh, he gave me a gift for work that I did for him. But normally, they actually demand for it. It becomes so corrupt. Why not? Because if the head is rotten, the body will go bad. If governments can misuse $3 billion of COVID money on nothing but what? On fried rice, rice with oil, fried eggs, and sardine, with the view of telling us that they are feeding Ghanaians. Why won't the others do the same? How can a driver steal condoms worth so much as almost 3 million Ghana cedis when our young girls are being infected with HIV/AIDS? The AIDS Commission said it, that young girls as young as 12 years are being infected with HIV/AIDS. Why is it so? Because of poverty, because our governments have lowered our standard of living, raised the cost of living, and living very fat on our resources. I believe these poor girls fall within the bracket of the 1.2 million young women who, according to the Statistical Service, who have neither education nor skill. This is really pathetic. After 67 years, our country is like this. Our nation is like this. A government appointee is introduced to a Toyota Land Cruiser V8 or a Maybach Mercedes-Benz when he hitherto was driving a Datsun 120Y or a Toyota Vitz. Never worn a designer perfume, now wearing a designer perfume. Today, their preferred choice is luxury. Why would such a person steal to maintain this unprecedented acquired lifestyle? Are we winning the fight against corruption? Certainly, we are not. Everything around us shows that we are not. And what are we going to do to win it, to make sure our country is delivered from the canker of corruption? Our audit reports in the public sector's spending, says it all. All our anti-graft institutions are polarized and politicized. The law causing financial loss to the state is only enforced when politicians are out of power, making it look like a tool for which it is used for hunting and avenging their opponents. This paradigm shift must be removed. We should be able to punish where there is punishment, where there is crime, where there is corruption. We shouldn't only do it when the government is out of power. In conclusion, I believe the heads of the anti-graft institutions should not be appointed by the president, making it imperative for us to amend our constitution. Because if government appoints heads of the anti-graft institution, wherein lies their allegiance? The allegiance is not to the people of Ghana. The allegiance is to the government in power. So at the end of the day, the people in government are freed when they engage in corrupt practices. It is time for us to ask for accountability from our governments, using requisite tools through digitalization and other modern electronic payment platforms to minimize and prevent the invasive effects of corruption in our society. Thank you very much.